and welcome to this week's AMA, where you can ask me any questions you might have about digital marketing, online business, my journey in the business, or even my personal journey with some of the other topics that I have shared over the last couple of months. And, if you choose to join me today, I would invite you to comment where you're joining from, or even at least say hi. That will help me to really be able to be aware that you have joined me, because I might not see that tiny little number that says somebody might have joined me. So if you put a comment in there, that will help me to be able to acknowledge you. So while I'm waiting, I thought the topic I would start talking about today is this idea of control. Because I believe this is a topic that applies to our life, whether it's business life or our personal life, and just in life in general. And I think that many of us have been very hardwired to believe that we can control things. That if we just set our mind to something and we just keep working towards it, no matter what it might be, we're going to eventually have control over the outcome. The thing is that I don't think we really have control. What I think we do have is more of a partnership. Whether you feel your partnership is with God or with the universe or source or spirit or whatever that might be for you, I don't think that we just simply put our order in and say, well, this is what I want, and then I'm going to get whatever it is that I put my order in for. There's so much more that is involved in that, because we can work really, 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 really hard to get somewhere and not end up getting anywhere close to what we want. And we just end up struggling over and over and over and over and over again. And some of that too is that we're pushing ourselves so hard that we are not finding balance. And so we end up not properly taking care of our mental well-being, our emotional well-being, our spiritual well-being. And when those areas get neglected, then everything pretty much suffers to some degree. And this is something that I have the awareness of it, but it's something that I keep having to be reminded of personally. And, I've been diligently putting my efforts into my digital marketing business and doing the actions that I'm supposed to take every single day. But I have not been overly successful in being able to maintain a healthy balance between taking care of myself and my needs, and even just like other basic things like maybe some different activities that I need to do, like cooking, setting aside time to make a meal, or cleaning, or maybe doing some organizing or something like that, something that is, ultimately supportive to me. And also it needs to be done because, it's kind of like a lot of things, when you think about a vehicle, if you're thinking about driving that vehicle to your destination, your goal, or whatever it is that you're looking for, and you're like forcing this control of, well, I'm just going to keep driving no matter what. It's like, as long as I just keep driving and just keep heading in the direction that I want to go in and focus on where I want to be, I'm going to get there. But if we don't stop for gas, if we don't stop to take care of any parts of the vehicle that might be having trouble, well, our goal and our destination is going to fall flat. We're going to have a lot of difficulty actually getting there. So we have to find that balance within that idea of control. And this was kind of brought home to me this week because I'm currently recovering from an unexpected short-term illness. Nothing serious, but it was enough to kind of hammer home that message of, you haven't been in balance. You haven't been listening to this message that you've been kind of giving others about balance. So we're going to, sources basically kind of enforced it and be like, okay, you know what? We're going to really make sure you get this message. Which meant that I had to let go of control. And try to honor myself better. I mean, I felt I was able to function and was able to do some work. But the first day after I did that, where I was still kind of not really listening fully, well, that night I ended up getting really sick. Let's just say my body was eliminating a lot of stuff, which I'm going to say, wasn't just physical, it was emotional, mental, like all of these things that are not serving me was eliminated a few times throughout the night. And, so I stopped and I asked my body, it's like, what do you need to feel better? What do you need to heal yourself? And the first answer I got was oatmeal. But then I also got the messages of simplicity and going to the basics. Because how many of you overcomplicate things, overcomplicate your lives? Tell yourself that you have to do 50 million things in a day because you've taken on these ideas of, I'm supposed to do this, I have to do this, I should do this, Somebody else is expecting me to do this, and we don't end up honoring ourselves. Many of us, I think, probably push ourselves to the brink. And I think we really need to learn how to let go of this rigidity in our thinking and learn how to flow with things better. One of the people I know, she says, don't push the river. The river flows by itself. And life flows by itself. Nature flows by itself. They don't force things. They don't push things. They don't try to control things. They look to accept things just as it is. If it's really windy or a heavy rainstorm, the trees just accept what it is. They don't try to hide from it or run from it. I mean, you might have ideas, oh, well, they're not capable of doing that. But, it's still, it's a representation of how they just kind of sway and flow and, bend without breaking most of the time to these different conditions. Same with the animals. They don't know what they're going to get every single day. They just respond to whatever shows up. Their main intention is to try to find food and to have shelter. So, they deal with that in as best a way they can with whatever each day presents to them. There's a simplicity in their lives. And I think that is really key, to really move back into simplicity and not have all of this complexity that we have created in our lives. I think that one of the things that is really valuable to do is to find ways where we can learn to be more. As a society, we are so focused on doing. We think that the more we do, the more accomplishments we're going to have, the more success we're going to have, the more, whatever it is that we're going to have. And we kind of seem to have this underlying belief. I think it's shifting, and there's probably more and more people who are resonating with the idea of being and not doing all the time. But I think there's still a lot of people who think that, if you sit still for 15 minutes and you're not doing anything, then you're being lazy or you're wasting time or, whatever the associated thought might be with that. But allowing ourselves to become quiet, to really tune in, to listen, that can offer us so much guidance and insight. That can allow us to be able to connect with actions that are actually going to move us forward instead of doing things just to be busy. Because being busy does not equate to having a good life, being successful, any of that kind of thing. So, this can be done in a few different ways. I'm trying to practice connecting with my intuition more. I have a book on intuition that has just under 100 practices that can be done to help with connecting to intuition. And I've only gone through a couple of them right now. But I know one of my favorite ways, and this is not specifically in the book, but one of the favorite ways I like to do is just being out, sitting out in nature and just really trying to just observe what is going on around me. And it doesn't have to be in nature specifically. It could be anywhere, but just observing what it is going on around you, listening to what is going on around you, and not labeling what you hear or see or have a dialogue around it. And when you do notice that you are starting to label or have a dialogue around it, you become aware of that and you try to come back to that quiet again, that stillness again. But another one that I liked that I've started doing is connecting with my chakras. Because if you're not familiar, we have 7 primary chakras. There's a lot more than that, but there's 7 primary chakras. And so I'll sit with having this vision of roots coming out of my root chakra, which is right around the tailbone, and having those roots going into the earth. And then I will visualize a white light coming down into my crown chakra and sort of coming down towards my root chakra. And then I will focus on each chakra for a few moments at a time. But what I've been noticing is that I kind of get stuck in my sacral chakra. There's like an energy there that I'm not wanting to go past that section. And so that's telling me, okay, there's an energy there. There's things that are connected with the sacral chakra that I need to pay attention to. But another one that I am practicing is heart coherence meditation. And if you look up heart coherence, you'll be able to get a little bit more understanding around that. But it's being able to connect with the heart more and listen to the heart, because the heart is actually our true communication center. Our mind is not. We think it is, but it really is not. So, this is all a work in progress for me. I've got a lot of different things that I am working through and shifting. And so essentially I'm just sharing my journey through this. And hopefully it helps any of you who end up watching or listening to or reading any of the posts that I've done. So if you have any questions about what I've shared today in regards to how to let go of control, or just the idea of letting go of control, allowing flow in your life, connecting with intuition, any of these kinds of ideas, or if you have questions about the digital marketing, the program that I'm a part of, online business, or any other part of my journey, I invite you to put your questions in the comments. You know, we can help each other grow on our life path by sharing our ideas, our experiences, and our questions, and all of that. Again, I'm going to be doing this live for the next foreseeable future every week on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you would like to join me next week or one of the future weeks, I would greatly enjoy having that engagement with you. Until then, take care.